tonight to the paranormal side. Today we are talking about the hauntings and the ghost of the Farnsworth Inn. So let's get right on into it. We are in the Sarah Black Room in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, in the Farnsworth Inn. This place has been here a while. It was definitely here during the Civil War.
It was built in 1810 on Alexander Dobbins' lot. It was first built of only wood and logs. Then later, it was deeded to John Finley McFarland. In 1833, a two-story brick structure was added to the front that sit on Baltimore Street in the town of Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. In 1842, McFarland ran into financial difficulties and lost the house to the Bank of Gettysburg. Then it was sold to Harvey D. Sweeney, a then school teacher and later becoming a butcher in 1860. He owned the property during the Civil War and the Battle of Gettysburg.
One person said not a lot of activity except for when they got the makeup out and set it at the vanity table right there. And then it started being moved around.
They got their makeup out and it started being moved around. That is absolutely amazing.
I said no when it stopped. I think it was Jeremy being curious. Heard Jeremy laughing and saw him a few times. I think he likes to hang out with my husband as he is a big kid himself. Around 3, I guess 3 a.m. because they ain't specified. But around 3, Dad felt like he got hit hard. Stayed up mostly after that.
When we checked in and we were getting ready to walk out, nobody had said nothing about anything paranormal or anything crazy like that until we got ready to walk out. The girl looked at me and said, "Good luck." Because there's some weird things that goes on in that room. I said, "Really?" I said, "Tell me about it." And they started telling us some of the stories, and I'll tell you about them as we go along, but we'll see what happens.
This says that I let the video run on my phone while we were at the battlefield. When I checked it later, a shadow hand looked to be coming from the left-hand side of the window at the foot of the bed. This one says, this place is amazing, smell lots of cologne. EVP. Jeremy, are you here? I'm here.
Wow.
That was deleted sometime during the night.
It was deleted?
Keys were moved and hidden. Dowsing rods crossed a lot. Loud bangs on door at 4:11 a.m.
During the Battle of Gettysburg, the home was owned by the Sweeney family, but they left and sought refuge elsewhere. Confederate soldiers took over the Farnsworth house and used it not only for lodging, but for a field hospital. The Battle of Gettysburg was a turning point of the Civil War. The battle was fought between the North and the South. After a great victory over Union forces at Chancellorsville, General Robert E. Lee marched his army of the Northern Virginia into Pennsylvania in late June 1863. On July 1st, the advancing Confederates clashed with the Union Army of the Potomac, commanded by General George G. Meade, at the crossroad town of Gettysburg, fought between July 1st and July 3rd, 1863. The Battle of Gettysburg was the bloodiest battle fought in the American Civil War. Between 46,000 and 51,000 soldiers from both armies were casualties in the 3-day battle, the most costly in U.S. history.
What's our bedroom up there?
Which one?
The top?
I know on the top floor, but which windows? The first 2?
About to do their investigation down in the basement and wherever else they take us. We'll see how it goes.
The Schultz family claim there are 16 spirits that occupy the residence.
Okay, so this this is the main dining room, and at the time of the battle, it was used as a makeshift hospital. Okay, it's the second most haunted inn in Pennsylvania at the time, next to the Casttown Inn. And it was about the 13th most haunted inn in America. And in the attic, there are a ton of artifacts from the Civil War. Well, it was about 11 o'clock one night, and I had a group to go up to the attic. So I took my group up, I ushered them into the attic, and I shut the door. I go over to sit down, the door swings open. And I'm thinking, okay, I didn't shut it well enough. I go back over, I give the door a shove, I push it really good, I go, my butt just hits the seat, door swings open. Now I'm like, okay, this isn't normal. And my heart's racing, and I'm thinking there's something weird going on. Well, then I got up for a third time, went over, shut the door, and I noticed there was a horseshoe latch. It was like a little latch, and you slid the bar down into it, so that's what I did. Went over, sat down, I'm giving my tour. I look at my watch, I'm like, I got enough time to maybe let 3 more people give, an artifact, and I'll tell them what it is. And I said, Mike's going to be coming up, and we got to get out of here. And I just get that out of my mouth, and I hear, tink. And I look over, the latch flew up, and the door swung open. That was not normal, okay? My heart about stopped. I said, okay, you all ready to go? And they're like, shut off the lights! Shut off the lights! I was like, are you all crazy? Did you not just see what happened? Come on, just shut off the lights. I was like, you guys are nuts. They're like, please, please. Well, I'm a people pleaser, so I go over, I hold the door shut, I shut out the lights, I'm waiting for something to grab me. Nothing did, or I wouldn't be here to tell you the story. I had a heart attack. So I stood there for a minute. I was like, oh, Lord, let this time go. And it went. So I was like, okay. I was like, now we got to get out of here. I flipped the lights on. I said, Mike's going to be coming up, and I hear on the door. And I'm like, great. Now I got to get down this flight of stairs with this big thing in 2 groups. I opened the door, and there wasn't a soul there. I wasn't the only one that heard the knock.
The Sarah Black Room is said to be the most active with spirits. On many occasions, the wedding dress in the corner of the room has become highly animated, with the sleeves of the dress flinging around wildly through the air.
I kept waiting to see if the wedding dress would move in Sarah Black's room.
I did too.
I would lay in bed and watch it to see if it start flailing around or doing anything, but it never did anything.
Some claim they have seen a little boy hanging out of the window of the Black Room, gleefully watching a parade go by on the street in front of the house. The bathroom in the Sarah Black Room was formerly a nursery to the master bedroom. A little boy named Jeremy is said to have passed away in the nursery. It's said that he was struck by a horse-drawn carriage and crushed the little boy in front of the house on Baltimore Street while he was playing horse tag with his friends. His father, William, ran and picked up the little boy and carried him to the nursery. It is believed that his father refused to release his son's lifeless body, and the child had to be forcibly taken from him. Both the little boy and his father are said to haunt the Farnsworth Inn. It's believed that Jeremy is around the age of 4 to 6 years old.
I definitely believe that Jeremy was playing some kind of tricks on us because you remember that air conditioner kept turned off on us at least twice. We were laying in bed, and all of a sudden the air conditioner just turned off on us.
416.
I just woke up, there was some banging. We're laying in the bed watching a YouTube video.
Oh, and our air conditioner cut off.
Yeah, air conditioner cut off by itself.
Jeremy is said to like to play pranks by hiding cell phones, stacking coins on the dresser, unplugging the alarm clock, and turning the water faucets on. And his voice has been recorded many times. And it's believed that he runs all over the Farnsworth Inn with the sound of his little footsteps and laughter. A former resident called Mary died in the Sarah Black Room. She appeared to guest there, dressed in a blue gown. She sits on the end of the bed and likes to toy with visitors' personal belongings and sometimes their hair. There are also claims that some have seen her in the Catherine Sweeney room also. One of the guests that saw her had a cold that night, and Mary was a midwife in real life who tended to the house's ill. It is also believed that she will tuck you in, and when you're feeling ill, she'll brush her hand across your forehead in a comforting manner.
That's where the sharpshooter was at?
Yep, that's where the sharpshooter came out of that.
Yeah. Wow.
I just caught someone going that way.
I was sitting over in that chair last year and something tapped me on my shoulder.
Oh, Lord.
Well, there's nothing, I mean,
Yeah.
no one could be there. So that kind of freaked me out a little bit.
Confederate soldiers gained control of the Farnsworth house. The house is a 3-story home and was a great place for Confederate sharpshooters who set up sniping Union soldiers about a mile away on Cemetery Hill. Some believe the bullet that killed 20-year-old Jenny Wade was fired from the Farnsworth house. Jenny Wade was looking out for her sister as she was having a baby, and Jenny was also cooking bread for the Union soldiers. She was shot in the back, and the bullet from the sharpshooter went through her heart, and she died right there in her sister's kitchen. She was the only civilian killed in the Battle of Gettysburg.
I'm still trying to figure out how a bullet went through them thick doors and shot her in the heart. Because them doors were thick at the Jenny Wade house.
Yeah, and the Farnsworth house is almost, well, it looks like it's almost a mile away. And plus, did you see the bullet hole size that was in the door?
Yeah.
I mean, good Lord, it looked like you could put a 50-cent piece through each of them. So, man, I'd hate to have been shot by one of them guys. I'd like to do a spirit box in the Estes method. Is Jeremy in the room with us right now? Yes or no? There's a little device that Miss Kari is holding in her hand. If you speak, we might be able to hear you. Okay? So if Jeremy is here, can you say yes? Is Jeremy's father here? Is a soldier here from the Civil War? Who's the soldier that walks in the attic?
Sound like I heard something about home.
You want to go home? The light's blinking over here. I need to give these batteries a good charge.
Then downstairs?
Are you downstairs? Is that you making that noise? Is that you making that noise?
After 3 long hot days, the Confederate army had retreated, and the Union retook the Farnsworth house. Many believe that the spirit of the soldier that accidentally killed Jenny Wade is said to haunt the Farnsworth attic or garret where the sharpshooter was posted. The sound of soldiers are often heard dragging trunks across the floor. Some folks staying in the Sarah Black room and the Sweeney room report hearing sounds of footsteps and music coming from up in the garret. The most infamous of the Confederate soldier spirits is a red-bearded man named Walter. He seems to have an attraction to the ladies. During attic tours, he enjoys poking the ladies and running his finger up and down their spines, scaring some of the ladies out of their wits.
He's standing a foot from the bed.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets that.
Oh, wow.
And then you'll see the room's very small. There it goes back.
Oh, wow. It looks like it's going backwards.
And then he has this. Sitting on the bed, he saw something move in the corner. That's his foot. But
Oh, wow.
God, that is awesome.
We heard
That's
last
in the
night
room.
when somebody checked out today that the covers got pulled off of them last night.
When that video that he caught with that orb coming to him, did he see it through the phone or?
he saw something in the corner of the room, so he was like just holding it.
Yeah.
And when he looked back at his footage, there was an orb.
Oh, wow.
God, that
Yeah.
is the
So
coolest thing.
that's in the McFarland.
I know there's over 150 bullet holes on this side right here. I think altogether there's like over 400. But everywhere you see the white marks is where a bullet hole hit.
George P. Black purchased the property, and his wife Vera opened the property as the Sleepy Hollow Lodge Inn. She provided lodging during the 75th anniversary for the returning Union veterans of the Battle of Gettysburg. Sarah Black later explained that her father hated the bullet holes. He believed the bullet holes were unsightly. He wanted to cover the holes with mortar, but many in the community urged him not to do so because it was a reminder of the Battle of Gettysburg. He didn't listen though, and eventually covered them up with mortar, and they were covered over for years until the 1972 restoration. In 1959, after her parents' death, Sarah Black Gideon took ownership of the property. She owned it until July 31st, 1972. That is when she sold it to the Schultz family. Mr. Schultz renamed the house the Farnsworth House after Brigadier General Elon John Farnsworth. Brigadier John Farnsworth. He was a Union soldier who died in the Battle of Gettysburg. He was only 25 years old. Led an ill-fated charge on Big Round Top, claiming his life and many of his men.
Okay, this is July 3rd through the 4th, 2020. Happy 4th of July. Our 14th time stayed in the McFarland room. Was eventful. After doing some EVPs, we fell asleep early. I woke up to someone grabbing my ankle and patting the bed by my feet. I thought it was my fiance, but when I looked over, he was sound asleep. Lots of strange knocking and clanking. Through the night also. We had the best meal ever at Dobbin House. July 2nd through the 3rd took a couple of pictures of room. Caught what could possibly be an orb. Slept well, although I heard voices. A man with a deep voice and a little, I guess they meant to put lady. I woke up with some kind of mark on my face.
That was July the 3rd, 2020?
July the 2nd through the 3rd.
Yeah.
Mark on my face. We had a great time.
So then all this has happened while our stay here, pretty much.
A shadowy figure has been seen in the McFarland room. Many have taken pictures of orbs, and some have even claimed that the rocking chair that sits next to the bed will rock back and forth. This spirit is said to be Jeremy's sorrowful father, and they believe that his name is William.
It's getting close to that witching hour.
2:31.
You want to play the game?
No.
Okay, then get you to play it with me.
You don't even want to play it.
No, you ain't got enough respect for Mr. Schultz.
Look, see, that ain't this.
And that's the shadow detector.
Yeah, I have enough respect for Mr. Schultz not to be doing that.
Mm-hmm. He's a nice little man. He's a nice man. I wouldn't disrespect him by.
That's bringing bad.
I already think there's something bad in there anyway, but I mean, nothing. Nothing that would keep guests from feeling comfortable in there, but down in the basement, there's something down there.
That's why I'm not getting down there.
Maybe in the attic too, but the rooms, man, I mean, nothing scary. I've been here.
Except for weird noises, knocks,
Yeah.
and unexplained things you can't figure out.
Well,
Shadows have been reported flying throughout the house, mostly at night and often in the dining room, and footsteps have been heard pacing up and down the main halls. Another spirit was reported as a black mist that slowly morphed into the form of an old lady. A lady dressed in 19th century garb has been seen checking out the kitchen supplies. She vanishes when you approach her. It's thought she's an old employee keeping an eye on things.
I remember the footsteps and locking the door and coming back and the door be unlocked and open.
and I accidentally got the footage of me locking the door, pulling the door shut, and locking it. So you can see that I did lock the door. By the time that we got back from downstairs from the dining room, the door was open, and that kind of blew me away. Earlier that day, when we were checking into that room, we were moving our stuff from the Sarah Black room to the McFarland room. I asked the maid if she had seen anything unexplainable in that room, in the McFarland room, and she said, for one, the rocking chair will rock back and forth, and also the doors will unlock themselves. Down to the Stay with me. Jeremy, are you down here, buddy? You left your phone upstairs? I thought that's what you wanted to do, was take pictures.
No, I wanted to see what was being moved in there.
I don't think that chair being moved would make all that noise. Move that chair right there has been moved.
There's 3 that's been moved. That one right there. It.
Oh yeah.
And then that one. And then that one.
And why would they clean the dining room like that?
They wouldn't have.
You wouldn't think so, anyway.
Oh, and that one and that one.
Man, it's time to get cool.
Did you lock the door?
You locked it.
No, I didn't. If you did, it's open.
What's that? I thought you locked it. I guess I had to play the tape back. One of the things is that we kept hearing what sounded like footsteps and or bangs or knocks. As much as we tried to locate the source of the sound, we could never figure out where exactly it was coming from. We would be upstairs towards the attic, and it would sound like it was coming down towards during the dining room. When we were down in the dining room, it sounded like it was coming from up top.
Yeah, it was like the sounds were always moving.
There's also been quite a bit of poltergeist activity involving the help, touching, tugs on their aprons, and overturned trays, and even doors being opened that were previously locked to some of the room's doors.
I just don't understand. It's like footsteps and beating. There's definitely something paranormal with this damn place.
Hello.
The basement is also active with many spirits, some believing that Jeremy is playing games on visitors down in the basement, and along with other spirits. The house has had reported claims including all the guest rooms and the garret attic, which holds a collection of Civil War artifacts, and the basement, which has had many visits from many paranormal investigators, and even had an investigation by Lorraine Warren.
Basically, we've always been told don't go back into the catacombs, which is behind that curtain. It's the original portion of the cellar, and it has all the electrical to the main house. So we've been told don't go down there, just because they don't want us messing with the electrical. Well, years ago, they let a guy go back there, and they let a woman go back there. They didn't even make it halfway back and felt something, and when they came out, their pants and the woman's whole dress had muddy handprints on them. Okay, so they came out here and they locked the door and they called in Lorraine Warren. Now, if no one knows who Lorraine Warren is, she was a clairvoyant, a paranormal investigator. She was very good. She did a lot of good things. She came here. Also, the movie Annabelle and The Conjuring is about her. So she came here and she blessed the catacombs, and I'll show you. There's a blessing. She did a circle with the cross in it. She blessed the catacomb area, and she told them back then. She did a light cleansing, and she told them to cover that mirror for 3 years or get rid of it. Now they did neither, but the daughter who owned the mirror moved away, took it with her, put one in that was similar, and then came back and brought the mirror back. Well, we started having issues when the mirror came back. Women would feel like they were being choked, they would get pinched, they would get poked, they would have their hair pulled. I actually had a guy take a photo of me. I was standing here and my hair was held out like this, and he took the picture and he never sent it to me, but that's something that has happened. So we called in Kindred Spirits. Has anyone seen that episode of Kindred Spirits? Okay, well, basically what they found was that we got the mirror from an estate sale, and they found that the owners of the mirror had a son who was really bad. He and a friend ended up killing a tour guide out on the battlefield and hid it, but they were found and convicted, found guilty, and sentenced to death. And on death row, he did artwork. So what they believe is that a piece of his art used to be in that mirror, that frame, but they took it out and replaced it with a mirror because they were ashamed of what he did. So they think he was the one that was inhabiting the mirror, causing the problem. Now they told us to get rid of it, and they did. They got rid of the mirror for a while. They had it cleansed and blessed and brought it back. But we have since had pictures show up with things in them, and I can show you guys a picture later of it. And we've also had people get sick coming in, storytellers, not any guests. They come in and they've called him out, and one of them got very sick and had to go out and got violently vomiting because of it. So, but I will tell you, if you hear footsteps upstairs, there's nobody in the dining room. I myself personally locked both. I keep hearing that door sounds like it's creaking open. That's creepy. I haven't heard that ever. I have heard knocking come from there before. I've also heard humming come from there 3 times. And I've worked here, well, I've been doing chores for about 16 years. I've heard humming coming from there 3 times. Because there was a soldier found back in the catacombs at the time of the battle, Lieutenant Jackson. He was comforting a fallen comrade who'd been nearly decapitated. It was like rocking him, humming to him. I've heard it 3 times.
In the basement. That's the door that Marine Warren blessed. And that's the mirror that was covered up. Is there anyone in here? I mean no harm. I'm about to get out of here. Was that you last night making all that noise? Well, if so, I appreciate everything that y'all did. Thank you. And we had a good stay. Thanks for communicating. The Farnsworth house has seen a lot of bloodshed and death of thousands over the years, and a long history of tragedy. Maybe this is why the house has so many haunting tales of lost souls still walking the halls of the Farnsworth. Although the Farnsworth Inn is beautiful by day, you just never know who or what may be tucking you in at night at the Farnsworth Inn. If you've enjoyed this video, please don't forget to leave a like on this video, and please remember to subscribe for more of the paranormal side. Remember, you're never alone in the dark.